Hello everybody. Mandolin here, of course. Thanks for clicking in, and I've got some exciting, interesting information to share with you. And my friend has a beautiful porch, just a little place, but I'm surrounded by garden gnomes and beautiful flowers, and it seems like a good place to drop this message on you guys. There was an incident that occurred, a video that came up, and I recognized it for what it is, and I wanted to share about you. I'll put a link for the video, but it was talking about Onslow County, okay, where I'm at, and about how terrible the virus was, and they followed. Anyhow, the video will be up, but I noticed some comments and people are not aware of what's going on. This channel is a Chinese owned channel, and this is Chinese propaganda about the very place where I live. So I want to let you guys kind of digest that. You know, they're exploiting this person, and they kept talking about how she was very worried and everything in relation to what I'm getting ready to say. I had a video that I was working on the other day, and I didn't get it out. That's another story, and I'm going to tell you that too. My intent was not for the highest good. It was partly based on ego. And so it didn't even, I worked on this video, and my laptop battery died faster than I realized, and there went everything, and I was just so I'm like, well, I can't do anything tonight. So the next morning when I got up, I went to turn on the computer and work on it, and the computer wouldn't come on. Oh my gosh, we had this incident. I finally walked away, went out grounded and centered, and it said, "You're not putting that video out." And over a couple days I realized my intent was not correct. So even now that I've got different aspects of myself, they can help correct it. They just put a block up and they're like, no, now daggone it, listen. So once I got that, it was able to flow. But there is some stuff going on with the whole Chinese aspect of what's going on around us, because they infringe on free will. That is such a huge no-no. Even if somebody's wanting to leave, that's a huge no-no. And as soon as, this is another thing, as soon as I said that I wasn't going to, no, I'm not going to work on that video, and I didn't. And my computer came, I went in and I tried one more time. I just took a deep breath and tried, and then it came on. So, and one of the things that I included in that prior video was that people were leaving because they didn't feel they could finish, what they needed to do before their time was up. And so it was like hitting the Control-Alt-Delete. And so that was a whole crazy thing that I went through that was very self-illuminating. And then I let go of that, and the ego, I'll go ahead and spill it. I've been sharing information about this whole situation being connected to frequency. And I try to put the word out, and I try to do it with love and gentleness and with comfort. So here's the kicker on this. When I saw a David Icke video where he was saying the same thing, I had this moment of, I've been saying this and nobody wants to hear what I've got to say. Nobody wants to listen to me. Well, and I had some information dropped from a higher dimension on me, and I was going to share that before anybody else got it out there. So the intent was wrong. It was all about ego. So the information that I have been able to bring down and put into perspective of what this whole situation is about. I was saying this is not biological unless you're 3D. So we can go vaccines, whatever you want to do, that's on you. I'm not telling anybody what to do. You need to follow your own intuition. I'm not I'm not a vaccine person. I don't want anything to do with it because of what I know and what I'm getting ready to tell you. So, the key to this thing is not a vaccine, it is your frequency, your vibrational frequency as an energy. Okay? People in rural or isolated areas like islands, they have like a maybe a little bit of a slower pace. They take in a little bit more. A lot of times nature. That's one of the reasons that I'm doing this video here. I'm grounding it in nature also. And they have a higher vibe because they have a sense of the things, their connection with the physical. It's a bonding almost for most of them. It's just a part of their fabric. So they're very connected to this planet that we live on. And so they're going to have a higher vibrational energy. People that are, my friend, she works with disabled kids, and she's just such a loving, giving person. And a lot of the people that she knows, most of the people that she knows are like that as well. And so even if she's not, because she's not on the same planet as me, so to say, with all the intradimensional, she listens, but that's not how she perceives her experience. And that's okay because her vibration is high too, because it's one of unconditional love and of service to each other. So, she's kind of higher vibrational too. It's just it's a harmony is what it is. It's a chord. All right. So when you're in these cities and it's dense population and there's all of this competition and the materialistic stuff, your worth is defined by your possessions or how much money you have, or, so those areas, and there's no nature around. Okay. So those areas are low vibration. Your vibration determines how you experience it. There is a huge shift going on right now. And I'm going to include the link to Peace Dealer. And I'm not just doing this because the person that has helped me so much, just by putting things out there for me to watch and to help give me another view of thing or another perspective. It's helped me grow. But I'm putting this up here as a resource for you. Okay, so back to the vibration thing. This huge shift has occurred, all right? And we've known for a while the Earth is ascending. There's a lot of people that have been saying it, but it just keeps getting pushed to the side. It's all about science. It's all about this. It's all about that. Stop feeling the emotion and look at it from the bird's eye view, detached, so that you get a reasonable perception, So with the Earth ascending and rising in frequency, our environment, what we experience is rising in frequency. Those that have done their inner work, those that have done their work on ascending themselves, they're ascending in unison or in a harmony with the Earth. And they're not as affected by the situation. As a matter of fact, they are actually using it as a catalyst for their own growth and their own anchoring in the higher fifth dimensional Earth that's in the making. So to them, this shift, you think of it as, okay, Earth has gotten rid of all of the pollution and all of the abuse that's been done to it, and that's made it a higher, lighter frequency. So if your frequency is in the harmonic range of the frequency that we're shifting to, then you're going to be okay. There might be some discomforts, but there are ways to get through it, especially because it's part of the process, and that at the end of the process, there's this big new adventure, making the new you. So this is really exciting. But during this, you're in accord with the shifting energies and frequencies that are now developed around you. Then if your energy frequency is low, then you're out of a harmonic frequency range. Okay, the higher frequency of the environment around you, it's now more a threat to your physical body. The energy that fed your physical manifestation, your life as you know it, if you're still down in that frequency. So everything around it has changed. That energy that fed that type of experience is gone. So your body can't get what it perceives that it needs. Respiratory, the breath of life. So this is a respiratory situation, shall I say. The earth is leaving behind the 3D energies. It's just going to happen. And to live here, we have to do that as well. This is a good thing. But a lot of people feel they're too far out of range, so they leave. They transition. They might come back. They might help another from, another dimension. There's a lot of things going on up here. This is like, I can't tell you. It's a quantum thing. The adjustments that are being made in what we even consider a second are so huge. So the earth is shaking off, the 3D energies. That's what's happening. These energies are separating, okay? And it's like the earth is shaking it off. And what's happening right now is we're balancing energies. We're balancing the new with the old for the process. It's kind of like when they shoot a rocket into space, all the turbulence and all of the shaking that you see. We're trying to slow that down, make it a little more comfortable. Okay? So you need to do things that pull you out of this 3D energy. To help get you out of this energy, I mentioned looking at it with a detached state of mind, like you're looking at it from above, from a bird's eye view. This is a process, it's a cycle. If you're doing your work, your inner work, and letting yourself shift, just surrender to the flow, swim with the current. If you don't, this changing energy is like a riptide. Okay, I live close to the coast. When you get caught in a riptide or an undertow, you don't just try and swim into the shore. You swim parallel with the shore so that the current that's there starts taking you back to the shore towards some stability. If you understand what's happening, then you won't be so afraid. And this will be a time of discovery, a time to explore. And always do this with love and pure intent for the highest good. See, I had to learn a lesson about me having my ego on my shoulders. This higher aspect of myself loves me so much and is so involved that it wouldn't allow it. Isn't that a blessing? It's going to start being noticed that the high vibrational people are not getting sick. They're not the gloom and doom. They're not running around in fear. And so the ones that are close are going to start, this is another wave of awakening, is when they start noticing the high vibrational people, it actually clicks to them. Wait, they're not sick. They're not freaking out. And where they used to just call us crazy and look at us as stupid or fakes or whatever, they're going to have enough of that in their system of, hey, I can make this, that they're going to actually kind of swallow their pride and they're going to start looking into it. And it's going to be proven, because it's just going to be proven. Don't think that just because they're homeopathic doctors or shamans, don't think that they don't record this. I mean, we talk to each other too. We share information. We have digital meetings. This is recorded. I mean, we're not just saying it and it's not there. And through that, because there is the documentation, I keep bringing Peace Stealer up, but he's saying it, They, look back, it's digitally recorded out there. It's part of the internet. You can find it. Where they said, oh, well, when this alignment happens, this is what you might see going on around you. They've been put to the test. Don't hold them to a higher standard than you do the medical and scientific that you covet so much. Open your mind. Everything is said in love. We're all about love and sharing and helping each other. And we want to do that for those that are out there and they just feel so lost and so hopeless. Can't hurt you, give it a try. So if you do feel this, ask for help. Please, there are so many of us here at this time with gifts and experiencing, and we're realizing now how that gift will work to help those. We want to help as many people as we can. So when they do, and we're basically legitimized in what we do, because that's part of the 5D energy. I mean, that's just part of it. Then you're going to start to see more of a shift in the collective and the general population. The good things about what has frightened so many is that they've gotten to a point where they feel more comfortable, like online and things like that. And this is going to help the experience. And the way that this does is you're communicating, you're socializing, you're working in a non-physical form. There's a dandelion fluff just floating all over the place here, and it caught my eye. This is real scary for some, thinking that you can operate in a non-physical way and still experience what you consider to be life. There's a lot of us, we've searched, we've studied, we've meditated, we've done readings, we've done rituals just to experience this very thing that you're kind of being eased into if you didn't have any aspect of it before. The technology, has enabled this communication and cooperation, and it's going to make it a lot easier for some that decide to add that aspect to their experience that they build in the next dimension. So when you're in competitive energy, like the third dimensional energy, it's hard to ask for help. Your ego, is there. You perceive this as a weakness. And Peace Dealer on his last video said, weak people do weak things. That's not a judgment thing. That's saying realize what kind of energy in which they are operating. So if you're feeling that ego where you're struggling to reach your higher frequency and you feel your ego's holding you back and you can't ask for help because they'll think that you're weak, let that go. Please let that go. The energy of helping one another, it's a pleasure to this higher frequency. It's not a burden. If you can help, and many of us are here just for this, if you can help, purify your intent of why you go into this, because you're going to be working with some 3D energies that try to suck you in and pull you back down to that vibration. Your intent is everything here. If you need a little help, reach out. In this higher frequency, okay, from where we operate when we do this, there is no judgment. It's only love and compassion. And being part, when you help each other, you start to realize that there's no separation, there's no duality. And that's such a pleasure for us. I mean, that's fulfilling purpose and helping in the shift. Because the more people that we help and help them through this with as less discomfort as possible, then the higher the frequency becomes, the more we have on board even. And just remember, if you need help, just ask. Just ask. We're here for you. We came for the experience, but in this moment, we're here for you. This is a cycle. This is, you know, it's something that it's a process. It's got a beginning and an end, and then you shift to a new experience and a new cycle. It's like as a child grows and they go through the different stages and they hit puberty. You know, sometimes it's confusing, at times uncomfortable. It can feel out of control. It can feel very inappropriate sometimes, and sometimes it can be painful. But just like you got through puberty and went to another phase, another cycle, you know, that was part of the cycle. This same thing is going to occur in this cycle. It's part of the process. Surrender to the process and grow and evolve and experience. It's going to be beautiful. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me and getting through this. I'm so excited to share this information. So excited to be able to bring things that get you thinking, that let you consider a new perspective that you might desire. It's not about what's right and wrong here. It's about what experience you're going to build for yourself. I just love to share with you. And I love being on this journey with you. So continue to tune in. How about subscribe? Hit a like button. Please do share. I'm going to probably do some shouts out to some other YouTube channels. We just seem, some of us, to click with each other, not even having the same subjects. And I would like to share, you know, maybe some of their content with you at some time and give you some exposure to the things that have influenced me. We'll see you next time and talk about what beautiful things are going on then. Love y'all. Bye.